So this is my sawmill sled. We use this to put this on top to guide the Alaskan sawmill across the top of it to get a flat first cut, the flattest, most perfect first cut as you can get, because that first cut is going to guide all the rest of your cuts. So this is like the most important cut. And this is kind of a reason why I'm going through guide bars as much as I do, because I just made this out of 2x4s. It's not perfect. It's not really 100% straight or accurate, but it's cheaper than the ones you buy. And that's why I made my own. For just a 10-footer, just a 10-foot rail, whatever you want to call it, on Amazon, I was looking at them. I think it's like $150 for just a 10-foot one. This is 16 foot. This is like usually the shortest ones I mill. I mean, of course, like, I don't know. I think even 10-footers would be too short for anything. I think 10-foot boards would be too short for my 10-foot cabin that I built, because really it's like 10-2. So I like to do 16-footers. And to get one of them sleds to do 16-footers, I'd have to get two 10-footers, attach them together, and then have a 20-foot rail. So I don't know, it just don't seem like that's working out for me. So we're working with what we got, and I don't mind. Man, this thing near perfect right there. So what I do to try to get this thing as straight as possible, I use a level and I just go across it and I screw it down using the level. So I try to get this whole thing as level as possible, so I'll get the straightest, most level cut I can get. So that's about all I can do, really. It's just do my best. I guess that's what I was kind of taught growing up. You ain't gotta be the man, you ain't gotta be the perfect person. As long as you're giving it your best. I was always told, as long as you're giving it your best, you're doing good. If you're giving it all you got, you're doing all you pretty much can in life. Good, looks pretty good. So that's kind of what I meant by the longer bar lasting longer, because it's got more flex to it, because this rail is imperfect, and once I do my first cut, then the mill slides across that first cut, and then your bar pretty much deals with the imperfections. Like say if this thing is twisted, so now that's going to cause my mill to slide down this twisted thing, and then my bar is going to kind of make up for the imperfections and just kind of twist and curve with it, and cut a board until it just can't twist and curve any longer, you know? So this is what it is. Is Blackie in there with you? Yep. All right, well, we got this thing mounted. I guess we can do our first cut. Let me get out the level here. Let me show you about how level this thing is. It is definitely not perfect. So I'm just getting it real close. I mean, there you go at one end. Here we go about the second thing here. That one is like the most level spot right there. I don't know, that was pretty close. And then we're down at the end here. So, I mean, see, it's not perfect. But we're gonna make it work like we've been doing. So, till we're rich, we're gonna just make stuff work. Work with what we got. So, all right, we're gonna loosen up the sawmill here, and I guess we're gonna start cutting some boards. If I can get it, I can't even get that off one hand. But we're gonna start milling some boards. I'm not gonna go crazy with cleaning this up. I was going to. I usually do, but I don't care. I'm just gonna start throwing some of these branches out of my way. I'm just gonna start ripping, man. I'm tired of trying to be all perfect. thing out of the way. Now I need the blower. Dang right. Okay, so you could tell that I kind of held the mill with my hand and tried to hold it as level as I could, and I cut an extra, you know, close to a foot or so. And that's because when I leave my milled log right here connected to this mill, this log connected to this log to stop this log from rolling down, what you have to do is you have to cut out a spot, because your mill is going to come up and hit this and stop. So then your blade's going to be stuck right under here. So now I'm gonna have to actually cut every single board, pull the board back, and pull my saw out. You know, so I'm gonna have to cut out an area for my blade to escape and cut up, basically come up out of it so I can remove my boards. That's just what you gotta do when you're using a tree like this to actually hold your log in place. And I've done this, I've been doing this almost the whole time I've been sawmilling, is using that tree to hold my log, at least while I do my first cut. Sometimes I'll do my first cut while the log is attached, and then I'll cut it and it'll roll, and then I just got to straighten it out. But really it's for the first cut usually. When I'm sitting on a hill like this, I'm gonna have to leave it attached pretty much the whole time that I mill a log or mill boards out of this log. I can actually show you an example of where I had to do this before, right over here. All right, so I've cut down this tree over here, and what happened was I cut this tree and it was just kind of over this valley here, and it was laid up here on this hill. So that's what I did when I got to the end here. I actually milled the top of this tree first, the opposite of what I'm doing over here. On here, I'm milling the bottom first, because that's just the way I want to go. When I dropped this tree, the top of the tree was up there, so I wanted to mill downhill. So I started at the top, worked my way down to the bottom. And that's what the bottom ended up looking like. Every time I cut a board, I wanted that end of I wanted this to hold my tree in place over this little valley here. So every time I cut a board, milled a board, on the top, you can tell the first board was on the top. I went that close to the end. So that's where the sawmill hit the end, like I was saying. I cut it to get my chainsaw on the board freed. Then I did it again. I went that far. Then I cut it, released my chainsaw, let the board free, cut it again, and so just kind of an example of what I'm about to do now. So yeah. So now that I got the face cut off and I'm ready to cut some boards, I got to get my blower, for one, blow all this off, and for two, I have to readjust my saw now. It is set for about 5 3/4. That's pretty much what the measurement I came up with for my first cut. You add the like 3.5 or whatever inches that is, and then you have to calculate how far the screws are going down into the wood, and you have to make sure your bar goes down lower than those screws are into the wood, so you don't hit them with your chain. So anyway, I gotta set this down to the thickness of my boards that I want to cut, which are probably gonna be close to 1 inch thick. I want me a nice sturdy roof. All right, we got her adjusted and fueled up and oiled up, but I decided I'm gonna set it at about 3/4 of an inch. I think that should be plenty thick for roof boards. You don't want them too heavy, but you don't want them too flimsy either. So I think 3/4 of an inch would be some nice roof boards. So let's see how long it takes just to mill a board. Those face cuts, they don't usually take near as long as the first cut of a board. First off, you're actually running your mill across something a little smoother than this wet wood. And also, I don't know, you ain't really just cutting too much. It's pretty simple to do that first cut usually, unless it's a super wide tree. But here we go. Let's get us a board cut before the sun goes down. At least one, you know. See how much fun you're having right now? Well, that's about how much fun I'm having too. I tell you, sawmilling, you have a lot of time to think. But anyway, I figured I was gonna leave this first cut in there, just full length cutting a board with a brand new bar and chain. I've had that question quite a bit in the comments. How long does it take you to mill a board? So anytime anyone asks me that, I could send them right back to this video and be like, check this video out. It's a lot of fun. We got us a board. Dang right. I wonder how long that took. I might have to check now, see how long that took to cut a board like that. It had to have been at least 10 minutes, I would think. Whew, man. And right here, you can see a big difference in a milling chain and a regular cross-cutting chain. It took me forever to cut just from here to here with that chainsaw. I was trying to go the full way, it just wouldn't go. So, but that'll give me a little room for my next board to come. I really don't want to go any lesser than 16 foot. So try really hard not to. Really, the boards are, gonna get cut down to 14. Just the same size as the roof, 14 foot. But I'd like to have a little hangover, just to make sure you get the edges hanging off, and then I want to leave, a couple inches of hangover. So probably it's going to be more like 14.4 to 14.6 or something like that. I'm sure it's not an exact 14 foot. I think it is though, but whew. All right, so it hasn't been a very gung-ho day at all. And I think it looks like I'm getting one board milled today. Hopefully in the morning I'll wake up a lot more motivated and start ripping some boards. I don't think we have any rain coming for like a week. When I checked the weather, it was like no rain for like a week, so that'd be really good. That'll help me get some boards milled and get a roof on this thing. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and drag this board up to the cabin and start. I'm probably, every time I mill a board, I like to let my saw take a break and cool down anyway. So I think every time I mill a board, I'm just gonna drag it over there, let the saw cool down, maybe even put it on the roof and screw it down. Who knows? And just mill one, mount one to the roof, come back, mill one, drag it over there, mount it to the roof. I think I might just do that the whole time. Who knows? So we'll see. But that sounds like a pretty good plan at least. So yeah. Check that yumminess out, y'all. That is a huge stuffed bell pepper. My second one, because I already killed one of these things. I went back and got me another one. Holly hooked it up. Green pepper, full of like rice. What is it? Mushrooms, rice, and I guess spaghetti sauce.